And we are off for the biggest race of the season so far, boys. It's homecoming. It's Miami week. Long awaited. Since they announced this last year, we've been waiting. It came quicker than I thought. I didn't think this would be a spring race so early in the season, but here we are. A lot of hype around this week.
Hell yeah, dude.
I'm ready.
Land of the free, home of the brave.
Mm-hmm.
Adding number 2.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be epic. This one's going to be exciting outside of that fake pool, but we'll get into that.
Yeah, we can talk about the track and everything, but let's cover Imola. Wasn't the craziest race we've seen all year. The start was pretty wild, but after that, pretty much a series of unfortunate events and a dominant weekend for Red Bull. 1-2, what more could you ask for if you're Red Bull? Kind of turning the tides here on the season. You know, Ferrari is no more clearly that number one team. Red Bull is here, and we don't. I'm going to call it even, but after this weekend, some people can make the argument that it's advantage Red Bull.
I'll lay it out as, the Checo, the Red Bull. I think you can't underplay. You said series of unfortunate events. You could also say Charles made a mistake under pressure, and that's what I'm going to say. He was pushing too hard over that curb, chasing down Checo, and we're going to see that. He's in his first title fight. We're going to see that. The 2 Red Bull cars, Max had a 5-kilogram weight advantage over Checo. Checo's getting that into Miami. I'm excited to see that. I hope there's a little bit of speed, but I think Bonotto also said Ferrari are unlocking 10 more horsepower for the Miami race. That's it with their package, nothing else really. So I think both teams are just going to development battle. I think they're neck and neck still.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. As far as we go right now, I think we just got to call it 50-50 and just see how we go race by race.
Yep. It's still early, but I totally agree with that. I mean, we have a small sample size with, Charles, having moments where in the past he has ripped, outside of this season, but like I do feel like he's, we talked about it before the season started where, Carlos coming in is theoretically the more consistent driver. Now, I'm not saying he's been that way this year, not saying that at all, but Charles has had his moments of ups and downs and inconsistencies and stuff like that. And so, I actually tend to lean towards where Hooves at with that, where, it seemed more like, hey, game's on the line here. And then Max just showed to me that dominant competitor driver sort of mode, if that makes sense, over Charles.
Yeah. Bad race for Charles, but more of just an unlucky race for Carlos. Nothing he could really do there. Daniel apologized after the race. He's been having a tough go at it. You got to expect that the next few races he's going to bounce back here. And I know we've been bullish on Carlos all season.
Yeah, I'm starting to waver.
We'll see. I think maybe a hot take. I don't know, but I think we're going to see point standings. Lando creep in over Carlos. The McLaren's driving well, just based on how Lando drives. But I just want to say, best performance of the week goes to Checo. Like, absolutely killer drive. You guys top 3 on the grid. Can't argue it at all. Top 3 driver on the grid. Fantastic job to put.
I could argue that. I could definitely.
Thank you for saying that, Carl.
I could definitely argue that.
I appreciate it.
So just
Checo's driving great. He's finally in a car that puts him in a position to really, really succeed. He was last year. There were some highs and lows, but I think the way he performed and put that Red Bull, if I was Ferrari, if I was McLaren, if I was anyone, it's just like, damn, like it's early already on in the season and we're starting to see consistency out of Red Bull in the top 2. Spooky.
Yeah.
Spooky.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. Every weekend so far, it's the narrative's changed completely. So again, we let's just not get ahead of ourselves because a team that's been sneaky consistent in most notably George, more than Lewis, Mercedes could unlock. And it seems like there's big upgrades coming. That's what it sounds like. they could suddenly sneak up here this week out of nowhere. George is the only driver who's had a top 5 finish in every race so far this year. Just Mr. Consistency. So I expect that to keep going for him. And Lewis, if there's, some big upgrades, he'll probably make a big jump too.
Yeah, I think I saw Toto say that Miami upgrades are going to dictate how they move forward with development. So if the porpoising's gone because it's crazy or improved this weekend, hopefully that's the right direction. If they don't figure it out this weekend, I think that's going to be very telling of the next 5 races. So we've been talking about that 6 race period.
Yeah.
I think we might have moved it a little bit. I don't know.
What I don't get is the porpoising issue isn't just an issue just for Mercedes. I mean, you watch those Ferraris go down the straight. Dude,
but they're manageable.
I think Charles's head's he's a freaking bobblehead, dude.
Yeah. Some are just
from
more
far
comfortable.
out, not just the above the helmet angle. I mean, it's absurd.
Yeah. It's ground effects for you.
But, and then getting back to the whole George top 5 every single race, let's not make too many excuses here for Lewis now.
Oh yeah. No.
I'm just gonna say, I love that radio message at the end of the race from Toto to Lewis, sorry, the car is just undrivable. Get the fuck out of here with that.
Yeah, no.
Anyway, carry on.
That's unexcusable. I'm sorry for the car. It's undrivable. What a bitch.
When you have a guy who's literally been probably the most consistent driver on the grid outside of Max and Charles.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a point in the next 3 or 4 races here where it becomes undeniable who the number 1 driver is, right? After 5 or 7 races of it's George every time, and it's George by 2 or 3 spots, then
Lewis starts becoming a prick at that point. That's kind of what happened with Nico. He'll be bitching to the engineers. He's going to play LeBron blames. It's going to be bad. It's going to be a bad look.
Yeah, I can see Sir Lewis having a pretty bad exit here in the next 2 years. Not ungraceful, but I don't think he's going to be able to sit comfortably with the fact that this young kid is beating him pretty considerably.
He's dominating him. He's dominating him right now. He's not even he's beating him, he's dominating him.
Okay, guys.
Right now.
And I noticed how Carlos has been
Carlos been pretty quiet. A world champion here, a multi-world champion. Okay. He's had a little bit of an offset to the start of the season. George Russell is doing Mr. Consistent things, but they both have only gone 1 podium all season.
Look at driver standing, Carl.
Right.
Exactly. Hey, if friggin' Russell DNFs and Lewis has a good race, that changes that.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean Lewis is racing better than George.
No, I'm not claiming he's racing better than George, but just look, all right, let's let George's head get a little bit bigger.
Significantly worse than George.
A little bit bigger in that Mercedes, and then we'll see what happens. But honestly, dude, I don't even give a fuck about Mercedes. I think Toto Wolff is cool. I've completely stopped paying attention to him, honestly, because it's just until we could see something of serious worth going into a race, it's they're just kind of just sitting there in 5th.
No, they're not 5th. I would say they're
third.
No, not constructors, but just in the race. It's been Russell. I'll give it to Russell. It's been him, but he's just sitting in 5th.
Yeah.
He cannot get out of that position.
Yeah, exactly. We'll give them 3 or 4 races to see if they're going to figure that out. If they don't, then it's probably just Ferrari and Red Bull. And then another team that's made very, very, probably the biggest strides from the start to the season until the last 2. There you go, Chet. It's McLaren. Unfortunately, it's not Daniel. It's Lando. Daniel had a good race, in Aussie considerably, but Lando pulled it out in the past 2 races.
I love seeing a Mercedes customer team have a better car and a faster pace than Mercedes. So great job, McLaren. And I think Daniel bounced back this race because Lando showed those pace and, lap 1 incident. But great bounce back. because we didn't think they'd be anywhere.
Yeah, and Daniel said it was his fault, so I feel like he'll bounce back, have a good Miami race. And other than that, the midfield's the midfield, right? Alpha seems like they're strong. Alfa Romeo, Alpha Tauri seems like they can be in the mix. And that's Haas is Haas. I don't know where they're going to end up this season. It's just kind of a question mark at this point. It could be 4, it could be 6, it could be 7. I don't know.
They have an argument absolutely for right now 6th best constructor. Like, if you really think about it, like K-Mag has been ripping, it's just, I don't know. I mean, they're absolutely worth at this point going into the 5th race in the season, a discussion of like, okay, they've proven that this isn't a fluke.
Yep. Yeah, and I think Mick is known for taking a while to get into these cars. I want to see it soon. Like
me too. I
don't want to wait till race 15 and then he turns it on for the last like 7 or 8 races into the season. I want to see it, in the next 5 races. Let's start getting, if not points, let's start sniffing right around points, P11.
Mm-hmm.
I think points should be an expectation because we see what the car
totally
can do.
Agree.
And you see the rookie Guan Yu, he's scoring already in a car that's very similar, same engine. You see the other people in the points. I think it might be time for Mick to step up, honestly, if he's going to be the future of Ferrari, because they're heavily invested in him eventually. We got the German teams entering motorsports too. They said they want a German driver. Mick's got to step up. I mean, obviously there's a lot of pressure carrying that family name, but it's points time, baby.
We got to talk about that Porsche Audi trying to enter.
I'm going to say that to the end, but I think before the season started, I said Mick was going to have that shining moment, right? There's got to be something that stands out from the season when you look back on like year 2, right? Mm-hmm. We can't look back and it's just like he had a few points finishes. Like there needs to be something that's a significant, whether it's like a P6 or, and something can happen, but, just like Ocon had that moment, like there needs to be a moment where we're talking about Mick Schumacher.
He's got to separate himself from Alex Albon. Like you just got to be able to separate yourself.
And Albon scored points already, and it's been 4 races in a new car that sucks. So that's where I'm saying it's time to step up.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and the rest of the midfield, I think, will just have to keep playing itself out. We just
we gotta give a thumbs up for our old boy Vettel. Finally found a way to do something.
Yeah,
they're gonna struggle.
Slow as balls.
Yeah, so
they're gonna struggle all season.
I'm just glad feel like he got points. I was worried there.
Yeah, and we go into Miami this week, and like we said, this is the homecoming race. There's a lot of hype around it. I already see the clips of Lewis Hamilton on Good Morning America, Daniel Ricciardo on Trevor Noah. Like these guys are doing the runs. They're kind of saying F1's here. F1's in America. I feel like this is, as the week goes on here, Saturday's busy. There's a big UFC fight. There's a big massive boxing match. There's a lot going on Saturday. There's NHL playoffs. There's NBA playoffs. I want to see how much attention this race can really get, because this is it, right? Mm-hmm. This is it.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited. It's right in the middle of the day. I think it's a good time. There's a lot of hype. So let's see if this is truly that, Monaco of the United States.
Yeah. I mean, you guys know me. I got ESPN on fairly frequently, and that's been the number one promoted thing all week so far. It's just Miami Grand Prix. So, I think they're doing everything in their power. And again, you got all these videos coming out. I know Danny Rick is doing everything in his power to promote more American GPs. Said that it was his favorite national anthem, the United States national anthem. Love to hear that.
As it should be.
But yeah, dude, like we will see America become absolutely an F1 hub in the next 5 years. It's already happening and growing massively.
Yeah, it's exciting.
It's going to be huge.
And I think part of that conversation becomes Porsche and Audi are stepping into F1. That's going to be coming. It seems like 2026.
Mm-hmm.
You have Porsche, who's most likely going to be Red Bull.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Audi, who is rumored with multiple teams, McLaren. So it's going to be interesting.
Someone's got to explain a little bit to me because I have not done my research.
So Volkswagen owns all of it. Volkswagen
Right.
Auto Group. It's interesting because they're entering as two separate teams. It's not one project. It's not an Audi Porsche project. Porsche would be partnering with Red Bull, taking over Red Bull powertrains, and like if that's all but confirmed, well, as Audi's going to buy a team and they're going to introduce their own Volkswagen powertrain because they want to be a manufacturer team. So it's weird because they'll be competing against themselves, but they won't be running the same engine, and everybody's kind of like questioning that because it is
right.
really,
and it's such a large expenditure.
it's huge. It's
For VW.
Dude, you're talking
million. It's
hundreds of
billions. It might be billions of dollars. Yeah.
And then you also have Andretti saying they're coming.
And I think they deserve it. Andretti has a name in motorsport. They're killing it in IndyCar. It's the son of the most famous name in motorsport next to Schumacher.
Mhm.
So I think they definitely should. And that would make an even number. If two other teams are maybe that would be an odd number. I don't know. But yeah, I definitely think Audi is going to buy Aston Martin, though. I think Lawrence Stroll realizes he sucks and he needs out. So I think that'll happen soon.
Yeah. Yeah. So that'll be interesting how that plays out. And then with Andretti kind of tying that into, Formula One in the US, they've said the strongly first initiative for them is an American driver. So you have a guy in Colton Herta in IndyCar who seems like he's on the come up. He's already signed with McLaren as a test driver.
And he's gunning for Danny's seat.
So he could potentially step in and, gun for Danny's seat. And then I know there's a kid in F2. And then you have some really young guns who seem like there might be a few potential prodigies in the Red Bull program out of Texas. So that'll be interesting. Because
I'm all about it. Let's go.
That's when the sport goes to the next level, right? When you have an American team with an American driver in the fight. That's when things get massive. So it's going to be an interesting weekend. I'm going to try and look at it right now. I want to know who's considered the favorite going into this weekend, because it's interesting, right?
I gotta guess it's Max.
I gotta
guess it's Max, and Charles is probably pretty close, but
it's a pretty damn fast course.
So it's
I'm
Max.
Psyched, man.
It's Max.
Becco's driven it.
Max minus 125, Charles even. So the odds are pretty much neck and neck. It's pretty much 50. It's a slight favorite of Max.
When did Checo drive this track?
They did it for like a Red Bull promo thing when they were still building it.
Yeah.
He drove the course way out.
This track has also changed, it seems like upwards of 10 times.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's pretty nuts, dude.
And let's talk about the track. So it seems like you have two long acceleration zones,
3 DRS, I believe.
Three DRS, three pretty quick turns, I guess, to start the race. And it seems like time they said was going to be right around when Imola was. So quick laps,
yeah,
quick laps, long race. I like that.
Yeah. So there's going to be a lot of straights. So if Ferrari did that 10 extra horsepower, you could see that. And it might be one of those races where it's almost you'd be better off being in second, because once you get on those straights and you have DRS, you can just pass. So we might see a lot of swapping again. I think it could be definitely a heavy Red Bull Ferrari weekend, and let's hope we get those same types of fights that we saw in the first 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's going to be fast.
This was a sprint.
Yeah,
I'm happy it wasn't.
This?
Yeah.
Oh God, I think it'd be so cool if it was.
It's a new track, though.
Yeah, I don't want them to test out a new track and have crap happen.
Go too mega and crash.
Yeah.
I really hope overall this is a success for them. I mean, it's looking like it's already going to be, but I love the idea of adding a second. I mean, if you had to have a city host an F1 event, I mean, come on, Miami. Like, you know,
Yeah.
the yachts, you got the money, you got everything. Like, dude, I want this to be an absolute home run. And then just, you know, this will be very, very impactful, I believe, for Formula One moving forward in terms of planting a stake in the United States. You know, I think it's going to be huge because Cota's been there forever. And like, you know, it's just like, this will be like, okay, F1 is officially here and thriving.
Dude, we're gonna see. I mean, like, you just gotta think of addressable market for the United States versus really anywhere else that they race. Like all the places in the Middle East, like they're not really letting people into these crowds. Like it's not really an addressable market. It's just there because it's like this kind of cool venue. But like in the United States, you have a serious addressable market. I mean, we have Austin, we have Miami, now we have Vegas. I mean, like how long till we see, you know, in LA?
There's going to be a West Coast. Yeah, there's going to be a West Coast race, like
Exactly.
around
In LA
somewhere
or
in California
Washington or something, like something that'd be really cool. I mean, they already have. It's been a long time coming for them to have more races in North America because it's like they just realized, hey, look at the crowd at Circuit of Americas versus like your crowds probably elsewhere. It's still substantial, but it's like 100,000 people at Kota. So
yeah, and one of the crazier crowds for sure. So
400,000 people there over 4 days. That's nuts.
Any other teams you want to cover? Anybody we haven't talked about? Again, I feel like a lot of the field is still just kind of playing itself out this year. You know, there's nothing.
I was gonna say
there's nothing super clear this year.
I think we'll see something good out of Pierre. He's had some tough luck.
I agree.
The Red Bulls are solid. The AlphaTaurs are good cars. He's got to be pretty pissed. I mean, Yuki's beating him in the points. And all Yuki wants to do is start his own restaurant. He doesn't want to be a world champion. So, you know, I think we'll see something come out of Pierre. Definitely some solid points this weekend. I'd put him in it at 6th.
Okay. Yeah. Carl just kicked that off for us. So who else? Who else wants to go top 6?
I'll say American Danny. I think he needs a bounce back race, and I think we'll get it. Yeehaw.
Carl, you just said Pierre.
Yeah, it's kind of a long shot, but I think he can.
No, I know you took my boy. That's always my 6th pick. I was actually really hoping for him to get in there today, but
you can double down on him.
Double dip.
I know. I might double dip, dude. I have a feeling that Pierre is gonna pull one out. I'll ride along. I'll ride sidecar.
That's fine.
Carl there.
I'm gonna go old man Alonso. I think he's due for a big break. He's been racing solid all year.
So much bad luck.
I know.
He's looking so good.
He's due.
Yeah.
Because like you see what Ocon's doing, and it's like Ocon is really having a breakthrough year. Frankly, like this is big for him.
They have a good car. They have a really
good
great
car, but it's like you got a world champion that just is
gets crashed into, or the brakes fail, or
he's due for it's with Alonso.
He's due for a podium.
Yeah, it's a matter of time. He's gonna pull one out. Why not this weekend?
I just want him to be like. It's one of those races where it's like if I was a team manager for them, I would simply just be like, Fernando, just drive smart. You don't have to like go over the limit on this to make up for it. Like it just a good, smart race out of Fernando is gonna make a lot of changes in constructors and where he sits overall.
Yeah, you definitely got to get points this weekend. That's for sure. Top 3, I think we're probably gonna all. I'm not putting Mercedes in there. I'm going to stick with the Ferrari Red Bull team. I'm going to go 3, Carlos bounce back. 2, Charles, 1, Max. I think in the battle this weekend, it's going to be really tight, but I think Max is able in the final laps to pull it out.
Carlos is due for one, man. This is uncharacteristic. What's happening there?
I'm gonna go Lando 3rd.
Ooh.
Checo 2nd. Max 1st.
Same. So you're going to repeat?
Yeah.
That's incredibly rare to happen, but
Max Checo Charles. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, that was exactly my pick. Now I feel really stupid doubling down on both. But I
Double
had
dip
Max-
again.
I had Max Checo Charles.
Another
So,
Red Bull 1, 2. It'll be
yeah, I
great
like
for
another
morale.
Red Bull one too. Yeah, that's they're written down right here. So
What, you don't want to put your lover boy Russell in there?
Russell's not going to get in there, dude. But he's going to certainly keep beating Lewis's ass.
Carl is Team
Watch what
LH.
happens.
You should get a
dude.
Twitter,
I'm telling
Carl.
you.
Team LH.
Watch what happens, dude. I'm telling you. I told
We
you
haven't-
before the season started.
and you know what? We haven't had a wacky race yet. We haven't
No,
had
we haven't
anything
had anything
wacky. So this could we could get a
No.
little wacky this weekend. I feel
I
like
hope we have
be,
wacky, not DNF wacky though. I don't want that.
yeah.
I don't. I'll be honest. Last weekend, especially with qualifier and stuff, kind of sucked. I hate those like 4-hour qualifiers that just
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
5 seconds
Yeah.
it's a red flag and like,
It's like every qual now because of Latifi. He does it every session.
Yeah,
dude, that guy
guy
needs to be that guy needs to be
he doesn't have a
forced
lot
out
of
of
time.
F1.
PU. He
doesn't have a lot of time.
stinks.
He doesn't
He's
have a lot of
dumb.
time.
asshole of the season. We'll
Yeah,
call him.
asshole of the week is once again Latifi.
Yeah,
always.
he's pretty much just in perpetuity asshole of the week.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want to see some more pit lane drama, like some cutoffs.
Only you would be rooting for.
Hey man, we
pit lane
almost saw
drama.
Lewis get into a collision. Like, did you always see shit in the pit lane? Like, I think this week, if we have any kind of screw up, it's like pit lane bullshit.
Where
Okay.
where do you think Lewis finishes this weekend?
In the pit lane.
Where do you put Lewis?
I'll put Lewis in like fifth.
Fifth
Ahead of
place?
George.
Ahead of George?
I don't know. I don't know where George will land. I could see Toto like pulling George aside and be like, listen.
Have you been playing F1 Manager or something? You keep giving these insights from,
I can
from what
totally
you think.
see, Toto's gonna pull George aside and be like, listen.
You're talking to Toto's therapist.
George, you're doing great. We love you, but we pay Lewis too much. He needs to win.
It's not happening.
Dude, I'll tell you what, Toto is definitely playing both sides of the coin there.
Oh,
He
yeah.
knows
two of
what he's got to do.
Like
He's
Yeah,
tickling
he's-
George's balls a little.
he's like, but
Behind
he's
the
also fondling Lewis and being like, the car is undrivable. I'm sorry. It's like, no, it's not, dude.
Behind
It's
the
actually the
curtain, I
most
think
consistent.
Toto and Horner are like best friends.
No,
That's,
okay.
that's we're gonna
That's
end it on
asinine.
And on that
That's
bombshell.
asinine.
No,
That is
we will end it.
asinine.
all right, fellas. It's gonna be a good weekend. I'm excited for this
All
one.
right, let's go, Miami.